What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Legitical Response. We cover political news. Now, I want to do something right quick. Now, I know I covered this yesterday a little bit. It was kind of toward the end of the video. It was kind of an afterthought, to be honest with you. I thought about it as I was speaking on the video, but I want to talk about, I'm going to run this clip right quick because I want to get y'all's honest opinions. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section because I want to see, you know, if y'all agree with me on this, because I've been stewing over this for a while, and I just want to see if I'm off base or if maybe I'm overthinking this a little bit, but it's just, I can't really get it out of my head for some reason. Check this out.
Constitutionalizing Jim Crow. And then it's not until the Warren Court for a couple of decades with the white primary cases and Brown versus Board where you get a different kind of Supreme Court on the side of the freedoms and equality of the American people. But the court is not going to save us. And so that means the only thing that really works is people in motion amending the Constitution. But again, it's necessary, but it's not sufficient, because what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, you know, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means.
Okay, now I touched upon this a little bit yesterday. Hang on there, Jamie Raskin, for a second. Right, the statement itself to me is just outright insane. He's talking about civil war. He's talking about trying to invoke Article 3 of the 14th Amendment. Right, that was put in place because the Union at the time didn't want any Confederates serving as president or as any executive office, right? That's what that was for. That wasn't intended for Democrats going after a former president over him legally challenging an election, for crying out loud, because Democrats cheated to win that election. But when you think about it for a second, you break it down. Okay. Hang on. He's talking about riot conditions, civil war conditions, and all this other stuff. Everybody gets bodyguards for the raging Trump mobs. Like, hang on. So basically what he's saying, he's basically alluding to that if Trump wins for some reason, and I don't know why this is, for some reason, if Trump wins, there's going to be mobs of Trump supporters storming the Capitol. Like, why would you need bodyguards if Trump won? For crying out loud, right? Like, nobody's going to show up to protest unless it's leftists, unless that's what he's talking about. His statement just makes no sense to me whatsoever. He's talking about just overstepping the Supreme Court, essentially, and doing their job for them. Like, no, I'm sorry. This is very anti-democratic, and it's just insane to me for Jamie Raskin to come out and say, no, even though President Trump outright won, he won the election, because on January 6, 2025, the election will have been over 2 months away, over 2 months in the past. So what is going on with this statement? That's what I want to know. Am I overthinking this too much? Because it seems like blatant insurrection to me. Outright blatant insurrection. I don't know how else you could put it. He is talking about not certifying the electors that are obviously legitimate electors. Because if Trump legitimately wins, right, Republicans aren't going to be the ones with the shadow campaign, so Republicans aren't going to be the ones that's cheating. So if Trump actually wins in the face of the Democrats' shadow campaign, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be the will of the people for sure. And Jamie Raskin is just going insane with this. His Trump derangement knows no bounds, essentially. I just don't get what he means by all this. Like, is he really trying to do that? And second thing, or third or fourth thing, or whatever we're on now, like, hang on. So Democrats don't have the majority in the House. How the hell does he plan on succeeding with this, with a minority, for crying out loud? I don't like, seriously, this statement has thrown me for a loop ever since I came across it. It is just throwing me for a loop after loop after loop, because when I first heard it, I'm like, what the hell? Civil war conditions? Really? And then, I got to thinking about it, and talking about the Trump mobs. Like, hang on, there's not going to be any Trump mobs on January 6th if Trump wins. So that doesn't make any sense. So, so in other words, he's basically saying if Trump wins, they're going to say he's not eligible to run as a candidate, doing what the Supreme Court should have done. He already won the election, Jamie Raskin. This is just utter insanity to me. I do have a different story, and this isn't the only thing we're talking about. But I just wanted to get this out there because, I ask you guys, am I overthinking this? Because it blows my mind how blatant this is. Talking about, we'll need to get everybody bodyguards, y'all. Huh? Why would Trump mobs be there if he won the freaking election? And how do you plan on doing this? Y'all let me know what y'all's thoughts are down in the comment section, because it blows my mind that Jamie Raskin would come out and just blatantly say that. Like, throwing everything democracy away, essentially. Destroying our republic in the process. That would be something that I would think would destroy the republic if he attempted to illegitimately remove Donald Trump. Like, how can just House Democrats do that, right? When they're in the minority, by the way. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, and it's just got me utter confused as to, why, for one, not why he would do that. I know why he would attempt to do that. He's insane. But why would Trump mobs be there, and how do you plan on doing this? Just, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. But let's go ahead and get into the story right fast. Okay, so this story we got coming up, it's kind of crazy. I'm loving this, by the way. I don't know if you guys are, but okay, so this, I'm gonna just be upfront, I'm gonna be honest, outright, just right up front, and say that this is only being done for political gains, for political purposes. However, at the same time, it's a very good idea to remind folks. Comer probes Vice President Harris's role in the worst border crisis in U.S. history. And as a matter of fact, this is kind of crazy. I didn't know they did this, but this article was written up by the House Oversight Committee. House Oversight Committee wrote this, so this is crazy. Check it out, though. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability Chairman James Comer is investigating Vice President Kamala Harris's role in creating the worst border crisis in American history as President Biden's border czar. In a letter to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, senior official performing the duties of the commissioner, Troy Miller, Chairman Comer is requesting documents and communications between CBP and the Executive Office of the Vice President related to the southwest border or illegal immigration. The Committee on Oversight and Accountability is investigating Vice President Harris's role in effectuating the worst border crisis in American history. On March 24, 2021, President Biden tasked Vice President Harris with stemming the migration to our southern border. The media anointed her the administration's border czar. Yeah, and then they tried to deny it recently, right? Like, even MSNBC was like, we need to stop with all the misinformation, talking about she was the border czar. She's not the border czar. Yeah, I played that clip. I'm not going to play it again. But yeah, it was a clip basically of past clips and present clips, like from not that long ago. of basically them calling her the border czar and then them saying she was never the border czar, right? Like, this is just what the corporate press does. The corporate press lies, and we catch them in lies all the time, and they frame things weird. They frame things in such a way to make you start skewing your thoughts to this direction when it's really not. Like when they say something, oh, well, he said this without evidence, right? Well, when does anybody, like, talk on a podcast, on a video, national television, and don't give evidence for what they're actually saying? You just expect them to be honest, but they don't actually bring receipts generally, like Steven Crowder does. You know, Tim Pool does. A lot of podcasters will. But even still, even that, a lot of people, even me, you know, I don't bring evidence. I mean, sometimes I do, sure. But, you know, it's just little things like that that just makes you hate the corporate press, man. Since the Biden-Harris administration assumed office, there have been more than 8 million illegal aliens encountered entering the country through the southwest border and over 1.6 million gotaways. And that's not counting all the asylees, because the asylees aren't counted in this because they're not illegal immigrants, because they showed up to our southern border. That's where you're getting the 15 to 20 million from, right? That's how they tweak the numbers. That's how they put out these numbers to the corporate press, and the corporate press says, oh, well, look, illegal immigration is down by 30%. It's almost better than it was under Donald Trump. No, it's not. That's because they're not counting the asylees, because they characterize, or they categorize all these people as asylees, as many people as they can. The mass illegal migration under the Biden-Harris administration has contributed to murders, sexual assaults, and serious bodily injuries committed against numerous Americans at the hands of illegal aliens, wrote Chairman Comer. The committee requests documents and communications to understand Vice President Harris's role in the worst border crisis in American history. Vice President Harris's abysmal record on border security predates her taking office as Vice President of the United States. In 2018, then Senator Harris called for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to be reworked from scratch and compared ICE agents' enforcement of U.S. immigration law to the tactics of the Ku Klux Klan. She has been critical of the border wall, despite frontline Border Patrol agents supporting it as an effective tool to curb illegal immigration. Illegal aliens from over 170 countries entered the United States illegally in fiscal year 2023 under the Biden-Harris administration. Vice President Harris's root causes approach to solving the border crisis, focusing on illegal migration from Central America, has been an abject failure, as encounters at the southwest border remain historically high. And I just want to state something right quick. Why are they now calling it the Biden-Harris administration? Right, like I've been noticing the corporate press doing this recently. Right, like they haven't been doing this, but for about maybe a month. That's about it. About a month. They've been saying Biden-Harris. You know, that could be good for Republicans, because now we can take, oh, it's the Biden-Harris administration. So Biden's record is Harris's record. As a matter of fact, it is. And, you know, right now, it's not looking good for Kamala Harris. It is not looking good. Democrats are trying to put up this facade that, oh, everybody's supporting her. They're putting out these polls. Oh, well, look, she's doing just as good. I saw a poll in the aggregate of the polls. They're basically neck and neck right now. I've been arguing. For some reason, YouTube recommended my video, one of my videos the other day, to a bunch of Democrats, and they were pissed off at me. Oh man, I've been typing away on my damn comment section. It's crazy. It's crazy. These people are insane. These people are outright insane. I've been, trying to argue with these people back and forth about democracy, and they're like, no, Kamala Harris is good. We chose Kamala Harris. Like, no, you didn't. The Democrat elites chose Kamala Harris for you. You didn't choose Kamala Harris. Are you insane? As a matter of fact, you must be. Talking to all you people, in case they watch this video. What is wrong with you people, man? Anyway, let's keep going. It is unclear what actions, if any, Vice President Harris has taken to fix the border crisis. Rather, she has claimed that we have a secure border and that is a priority for any nation. Yeah, that's a Kamala Harris thing to say. We have border security, and that is a priority for any nation. Yeah, you think so, right? This is what I like to tell these open border people. Like, do you really think it's a good idea to have open borders and just anybody come in? So you don't care if a bunch of criminals come in. No, they don't. Those people are communists for some reason. I don't understand why people are buying in to the communist Kool-Aid. I don't get it myself. All you got to do is look at a little bit of history, and you will see that every time it's tried, it ends with piles and piles, millions of dead bodies. Right? But with these people, it's never, the issue isn't the issue. The issue is their communist revolution. That is their motto. Because anything that they're telling you is an issue, that's not it. It's they want their communism. And the fact that Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz, that tells you everything you need to know about these people. And I will say this outright. We played that clip yesterday. I'll play it again. I'll play it every single day until they get this idea.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Yeah, that's insane, by the way. Yeah, one person's socialism is another person's neighborliness? No, I'm sorry. Socialism and neighborliness are very different things. Neighborliness doesn't end with piles and piles and piles of dead bodies. And by the way, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section, but I see no differences at all between socialism and communism. No differences, because socialism always leads to communism because it has to. That is the end result. That is where socialism is going to go, because you can't go any further. So you have to push, right? If you want progress, it must go to communism, right? Unless you're willing to stop your society completely from progressing. If you want to stop right there, but I don't see that happening, folks. I do not see that happening ever. Let's finish this thing out right quick. The committee seeks to understand whether Vice President Harris has done anything to address the worst border crisis in American history, continued Chairman Comer. Yes, we have had the worst border crisis in American history. She has done absolutely nothing, and I think that is on purpose. They don't want to stop. They don't want secure borders, right? They don't want these people to stop coming into this country. They want these people here because they want to virtue signal, and I don't get it. You're willing to destroy cities, counties, states outright for your virtue signaling. That's how I see it. Let me know if you see it any different down in the comment section, because there's nothing else you could derive from wanting an open border other than you want these cities to be destroyed. You want the middle class to be the poor class, because that's what it's going to do. You're taking away jobs from Americans, especially right now. This is not good for people, right? I've talked about this at length before in the past, right? All these jobs that Biden's touting, giving them to criminal aliens, not helping American citizens. Why? I thought President Biden was the blue-collar president, right? He's there for the working class, folks. No, he's there for everybody else except Americans. That's how I see it. His policies have destroyed our country and is actively destroying our country as it was. I put it that way. Not physically destroying. Of course, in Tim Walz's case, yeah. As a matter of fact, we saw the George Floyd riots. That started in his state. Yeah, that started outright in his state. And the corporate press spurred that riot on. They absolutely did, by lying about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. Lying outright. Not giving all the facts. Not trying to quell some of the rioting that was going on by reporting that, it's mostly peaceful. No. There's a riot going on behind you. And he's like, it's mostly peaceful but fiery protests, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like you're not telling the American people. $1 billion in damage. It was an outright insurrection, but you don't hear any congressman, you don't hear AOC or Jamie Raskin yelling and screaming about insurrection. No, you don't. You don't see that at all. As a matter of fact, Kamala Harris, as we talked about yesterday, put together a website to get people to give donations to bond people out of jail. People that were arrested for violently rioting. She was trying to get these people out of jail. It's insane. Just outright insane. That's all I got to say about that. But I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.